Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Push to Talk podcast. You know what we didn't do? We didn't hit record when we were 20 minutes into recording this episode. Welcome to episode 3 of the Push to Talk podcast. I'm your host, Big Fry. I'm joined here today, co-host Crash. How are you doing today, my man?
What's up, man? I am hanging in there, and I will tell you, with some technical issues, it feels like I'm doing my other show, The Scope, because I always screw that up. I'm right at home, baby. I'm settled in.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Listen, and I also have to apologize. Last week's episode got completely scuffed in the edit. This week's episode, we didn't record. We were already halfway into the meta breakdown. We're already on it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoy the show, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys leave a like down below. Go check out Crash. Check out myself. We're doing the little collaboration thing on YouTube. Both our channels are linked there. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, wherever, do people listen to podcasts on Amazon? Leave a 5-star review for us if you're enjoying the show. Definitely helps out. And, you know, there's a lot of ways you guys can support without, checking out the Patreon, which is where this podcast is actually powered by, patreon.com/BigFry. What have you been up to, my man? Even though I already know, let the people know what's been going on.
Yeah, I'll let the people know. Dude, technical issues, that's just podcasting, baby. That's just how it is. Man, I've been playing shooter games, actually.
Really?
It's kind of wild. I haven't even had to break out the steering wheel and play ATS, because that's usually my go-to whenever I get tired of the shooters that are out and about. But I've been playing a lot of API. I've been smuggling pumpkins over there. You can laugh at me, but I take it very seriously. Been smuggling some pumpkins in ABI. They got some cool events going on. Dude, they got this, I didn't even tell you about this. They got this drop event on farm where there's airdrops that are dropping in with like gold and red items.
Oh, cool.
It's insanity. Like everybody just runs to the middle and it's a giant bloodbath, and it's pretty fun.
Awesome.
It's kind of a different way to play an extraction shooter. You're probably not going to make it out alive.
Right.
So it's been pretty cool. I've been enjoying Strike Point, which I think is going to make this episode pretty interesting. Glancing ahead at the show notes, we have some mixed opinions there.
Yep.
Been playing a lot of that in Battlefield. How about you? I could go on a limb.
Oh, sure.
I think I might know what you're playing.
Yeah.
Does it rhyme with ARC haters?
It does. And you are a ARC hater, if I had to find one. ARC Raiders has taken over my life.
I'm not a hater. I'm just a non-enjoyer. Is that a thing?
No, I mean, on the internet, it's the same thing nowadays. So.
Oh yeah, sorry, one or the other. Get in the box.
Yeah, no, ARC Raiders has taken over my life. I've been playing that, a little bit of Battlefield, and that's spread between the Red Sec and the multiplayer. But yeah, no, it's basically just been ARC Raiders and just working on transients. So.
I've very much enjoyed the ARC Raider clips. And your streams and the prox chat. It makes me want prox chat and ABI so bad, man. It makes cool moments.
I think ARC Raiders is it's like a proponent, and like you have to have prox chat in multiplayer. It makes for just so much better engagement, better player interaction. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's been, the clips have been incredible and the content's great. And that thing keeps going up with player numbers, right?
Yeah. I think they just hit an all-time peak yesterday, 462. Which is insane.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I'm Crash, and I wonder how ARC Raiders is going to do against Battlefield and COD and all these other shooters. Yeah, that's me. I'm that guy.
I know this isn't on the show notes, but when you actually look at the numbers, like Battlefield is actually dropped to free-to-play Battle Royale, and it's struggling to keep up to ARC success right now, which is not what I expected, if I'm being honest. As somebody who, I thought ARC Raiders was multiplayer game of the year just based on the tests I played earlier, but I didn't think that it would be able to this quickly, trump Battlefield's player numbers. Not even close.
Man, if I'm being perfectly honest, I was like, ARC Raiders is unique enough. It's going to have and I don't even want to say niche, because that kind of implies small, but just kind of a nice, healthy, solid, player base. I did not at all think it was going to take chunks out of these other big shooters player bases like this and just be kind of the phenomenon that it is. But you love to see it, even though I'm not a fan of the game.
Exactly.
It's a great game.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's cool, man.
All right.
We need more shooters always.
I agree. More third-person shooters at that.
Didn't say that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the meta breakdown.
All right, in the meta breakdown, one of the biggest topics out there is Battlefield Season 1. You got some rough launches, you got some review bombing, but you also have some good stuff. So like we do over on the show, we're going to go over both sides of it with some pros and cons, with the big story that is the Battlefield 1 I did it. Battlefield Season 1. I
It
just want to say Battlefield 1.
right.
They were good times.
Yeah.
The Battlefield Season 1 launch.
Yeah.
Hit me with some pros, Fry. What's your first one?
So yeah, obviously, free to play battle royale, red sec, name whatever, but it's a pretty cool battle royale. If you're a fan of games like Warzone, I think it's a great alternative. I every time I find myself logging in, I play a little bit of the multiplayer, do my weeklies as much as I can, and then it's like, all right, let's jump into some red sec. Where are we dropping? Mustard ketchup downtown. Let's go. It's really
Yeah.
fun. A lot of depth to it, which I wasn't expecting. I don't know why I kind of went in thinking it was just going to be like a large scale, kind of more class based destruction. There's missions, there's vehicle call-ins, there's just a bunch of different crates. You can upgrade your weapons, and you can I don't want to call it a roguelike, but when you do the upgrade kits, you can choose between like accuracy or mag count. I really like how much there actually is there in terms of a gameplay loop. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise for me as well, coming from my last, foray into Battlefield BR, which was Firestorm. This one feels like a lot more thought out.
Yeah.
And I always think, I don't know why I do this. I always try to think of like how things went behind the scenes. I'm just interested in like in some of these big game studios and how they think things through from like a business standpoint. And it really just feels like when Vince Zampella got in there, he said, "This is what we're going to do,"
Yeah.
and they did it. And they did the vision, and they got through because it's a lot more polished. And for reasons like you said, like there's missions to do. None of that was in Firestorm. I think the upgrading kits to the guns is a really cool thing. I didn't even think of that because I was hoping in my head there was going to be attachments, but this is almost better. Like you find the kits and then you get to choose, like depending on what gun, how you want to upgrade it in the match. I think is really cool. And it's kind of a cool way to get away from. That's different than Warzone. Get away from just having a full custom loadout that you have to try to get at the beginning of every round because with the upgrade kits and stuff, there's times where I feel like I'm actually competitive with ground loot guns, and that's kind of rare.
Yeah.
In some BRs without even a ton of upgrades. So just finding those kits and things like that's pretty cool. And although I think Firestorm had more of a battlefield feel to it to me, based on like how the map was and how the vehicle combat worked in Firestorm, this one feels a little, if you have to say it, it feels a little more Warzone like a little Warzone DNA in there. But I think the map is a big positive for the BR. Like there's a lot of POIs. The destruction is pretty cool. Although sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. Like there's walls that I think should blow up that don't. Have you ran into that?
Yep. Absolutely.
That's a little weird. But on top of the POIs, I think a lot of the topography is really cool, man. Like where the plane crash and there's these big valleys and stuff.
Yeah.
So even though I know a lot of people aren't fans of the vehicle, some of the BR purists aren't fans of having the vehicles in there. At least they give you a map that you can kind of maneuver on, even buildings and topography as well. Like a lot of hills and changes in elevation that I think are pretty cool. I want to kick it back to you with one question though.
Yeah.
Because in your pro in the show notes, you said it's pretty cool if you're a fan of BRs. So are you? And like, where are you at with the BR genre?
Yeah. So, I liked early Warzone. It got really crazy and bloated, bringing all the weapons in from all the different games, the yearly updates. It got a little like too overwhelming in a sense of like, you had to level this gun. This is the meta gun. It was just too much, right? So I'm a fan of battle royales, but I like it to be a little bit more simple and a little bit more based on your combat and like position prowess. So like H1Z1, King of the Kill, PUBG. I was never a fan of Fortnite because I thought the building just took a lot of the combat effectiveness. It was just less about guns and more about fucking building the World Trade Center and shooting at you from 500 feet in the air. I didn't like that. So this one's nice. There's a lot of verticality. And yeah, I'm a fan of battle royales. I think they did it. I think they did this one pretty well. Looking forward in the show notes, there are a few things I definitely want to talk about and agree with you on. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, they got some problem areas for sure. But I think for a first showing, they did pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm finding myself getting a little more fatigued on the mode than I used to.
Yeah.
With that early game kind of starts to feel the same. where you have to go through the looting and the trying to get into position and stuff just to get to that final circle.
Yeah.
Which is why I often find my way back to modes like Strike Point or S&D or Rainbow Six, where it already feels like you're kind of in those final circle moments that you chase whenever you're
Yeah.
doing round based one life mode. But it's also a good time, like you said, you do your multiplayer challenges and then you pop over to it's like where we drop it. It's fun with a group because you can just
Yes.
vibe and do different stuff on the
Mhm.
map and move around, and
Yeah,
it's not as sweaty all the time. So I like that variety too. But
for sure.
I'm gonna see how it goes in the coming weeks. I feel like I can get tired of BRs. I'm really interested to see in the seasons ahead how they're gonna support it and
Yeah.
what they're gonna be adding to that and how new guns and things like that are gonna change things, if they're gonna do any kind of events
Yeah,
in there that change up gameplay or not, or if it's gonna stay largely the same.
for sure.
Should I move on to a pro of mine?
Yeah, yeah,
So one thing I thought, and I have a hard time not comparing this thing to 2042, which I'm going to do here. This actually feels like a proper season. We have one new map and a BR map in the first part of the first season, and then in 8 days, I think is at the time of recording this, is another new map already.
yep,
New modes with the sabotage mode and content coming. I'm not sure about guns and stuff like that, but there's more things coming as the big marquee features, another new big conquest map, and it just feels like this game had enough time in the oven to where we're getting proper seasons now. And
yeah.
when a map drops, and I know there's some mixed feelings about Blackwell Fields. At the least, you're only, I guess the silver lining is you're a week out from another new one, and
Right.
and hopefully that the new map is better. But it just, and they're not having to remake maps. Like, they had to remake all of the 2042 maps, was
Yeah,
insane to me. But it just feels like we're actually getting proper post-launch content now. And
right,
we're never more than a few weeks away from new stuff that they teased with the season one. So that's what I like.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and one thing we talked about on the last episode, and now kind of going into this, I think the battle pass actually ended up being pretty decent in terms of like grounded skins. Um, I like the way that it's broken out, and you can kind of choose what path you want to take. I think there 4 total or 3 total. I like how it came out, and I also like the fact that they pulled the big blue skin out of there that everyone was bitching about. Um,
Yeah. This is going to empower the Reddit community even more, though.
right. I do agree with that.
They're feeling
Um,
good over there.
yeah, but grounded skins for sure. Anything that I saw there that was really interesting to me, not really. Like I guess like they're all just kind of, it all kind of blends together for me at this point. There's nothing that really pops out, and it's funny. I don't think there's anything that I really want to spend money on in the store from all the skins that I'm seeing so far. It all feels kind of samey, but I think that's what appeals to this Battlefield community at this point. They don't want the over the top. They don't want anything crazy. They just want
Yeah.
grounded. So,
Yeah. We talked about it last time. There was a
yeah.
lot of backlash over some of those skins, and they're listening. So I guess they just kind of secretly, quietly removed the blue smiley face skin that
Yeah.
everybody was up in arms about. But I I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a little bit of a lackluster battle pass because it just doesn't make you feel obligated to spend money
That
after
is
you've
true.
spent, the $70 or $80 or whatever on the game itself. If it's good when a battle pass is pretty optional. I felt like it got to be in Call of Duty where, I mean, even though like the guns and stuff were in the free tiers, the battle pass almost felt like you needed to get it. And I think having the strong guns in Call of Duty on the battle pass made people want to buy tier skips to just
For
kind of
sure.
pay to progress.
Of course.
And I'm happy to not see that here yet.
Yep. I can
I'm not
agree
saying
with
it's
that.
not coming, but
Right. Well, and another thing too is when you booted up Call of Duty, Black Cell, buy now, storefront, and you were
dude,
just bombarded with it.
how many people bought that not knowing that you didn't have to? Because it
Yes.
popped up and it was like, buy now. And then there was like a tiny button like way up here,
Yep.
close. And
As
like, I wonder
as
if there's
soon
some people that bought it didn't know.
as somebody who like is pretty in tune with that stuff, not I don't remember what season it was. It was a few seasons ago when I was still playing Call of Duty. I bought just the way they had the screen set up. I bought the one with the 20 tier skips and I didn't even realize it. It's just the way things went. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm buying this battle pass. We're going to grind it out. Boom, boom, boom. And then I realized I had 20 tier skips. I was like, wait, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah, you paid double.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make that stuff like really sneaky.
Yeah.
So it's cool to not see that in Battlefield yet. I hope it stays true.
I think you get a small little advertisement when you get in to go look at the battle pass or go look at the store, and that's about it. Keep it there, and I'll be happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess for my last pro, this is gonna open a can of worms.
Yeah.
I think Strike Point's awesome, man. I love it a lot. I think it's feeding into the big reason that I don't even care or almost forgot that Call of Duty releases in 4 days at the time of recording this.
Yeah.
I completely spaced it because I usually keep an eye on Call of Duty for Search and Destroy because I really like playing those types of modes with friends. And I have had so much fun with Strike Point. If you guys don't know, it's one of the new modes that came out this season. It's 4v4. You can pick a class. You got all the gadgets and stuff, but it's on smaller maps with one flag in the middle. Kind of think like team gunfight, but you get to pick your loadout so you can capture the flag in the middle or eliminate the other team. One life mode, first team to 6 wins the game. And I'm getting some of those same moments, some of those clutch moments, some of those comebacks. I'm getting the back and forth of like, you start to read a team. You're like, okay, they like to send a sniper to this back right building. You can even blow up that building because it's got destruction in it if you want to take out that sniper. Just learning how other people play, adapting off those, getting some awesome comebacks, some really cool clutches. I think I have an 83 or 84% win rate in it so far.
Damn.
With the stack. So we're winning matches. And over the last week, after I got some time with it, I started to learn about like a little bit of a deeper strategy on than I first thought on the surface because the rounds do happen fast. It's quick.
Yeah.
They're really small. But what we kind of realized is that the destruction in the mode stays on the map until it switches sides.
Yeah.
So we started kind of doing like we were doing in Siege. We would bring an engineer and we started making rotates and opening up new lines of sight to the objective and stuff like that people aren't thinking about. And you can do that and it lasts into the next round until you switch to the other side and then the map and the destruction resets. So at first I thought it was a little bit shallow and a little bit kind of silly and spammy and quick and over with, but we've started to really put some strategy into it and I found kind of a deeper level to it and have been having fun. But it's one of those modes. I mean, you guys hear me talking about teamwork and stuff right now. I'm not going to play it solo. It's just I have to have a team in these types of mode. Like, yeah. I'm not playing it solo. You couldn't pay me.
Yeah.
What a
Strike Point is ass. All right, no, I'm joking.
No, we'll start. It's just like last time. You said I suck at third person. I'm just gonna say you suck at Strike Point.
No, so here's what I will say. I have not played with a stack. I have only played with randoms. There are so many terrible Battlefield players out there, dude. They're the worst.
I can tell you, if I had to play 2 games with randos, I would throw my PC out of that window into my driveway.
The last game that I played was like 3 days ago, and 2 of the guys had never played a Battlefield title in their life. Both of them was their first time playing Battlefield, and they're like, I'm just trying to learn the game. I'm just jumping in. This is my first night on the game. That's what I've had to experience. So maybe
you're in the wrong mode, bud.
That's what I was thinking. Like, go play Conquest and run around for a while and learn how. So here's what I will say, though. From all the times that I have played it, I'm not going to take my losses and bullshit teammates into account because I think I would have a lot more fun if I had a squad. But I think at least in the maps that I've got to experience, I find that a lot of the time there is one team that just for some reason has a closer spawn to where the cap point is. And so I had a lot of trouble watching the imbalance at play in some of these maps where it felt like I could sprint knife out and I still couldn't make it to the objective cap point before they do, and they already have a better position. So it feels like one side has advantage there, which is really, really weird. I played quite a few games on I think it's the Blackwell Fields version of Strike Point with I think it's the semi in the middle. That one was just, I don't know, man. I just didn't like the pacing of it. I thought the flag cap time popping up as like when it does, when we were talking before, it's like, it was supposed to be like gunfight, right? Where it happens a lot further on in the map, like in the round. So it's kind of like let's get this moving. Come grab the cap. I didn't like that the cap is just kind of open. I think 10 seconds into the round, and then you can just sit there and cap it. I don't like that. I'd rather duke it out first and then have that be an option if players are camping, right? But what I find is it's a Zerg sprint to the middle, which I'm not a fan of that pace.
Yeah, I think you're right though, and the maps are a little bit imbalanced. But how I look at that, and I thought this and kind of talked to it, and I guess I did take this mode a lot more seriously because my team. I'm going to say my team.
Yeah,
my stack.
I mean, watching you guys play
is I look at it like attack defend.
Right.
Like so your attack, if it's closer to there are routes that certain teams have that are closer. So I look at them as a defending team, and then I look at us as the attacking team. And if you can, I looked at it kind of like in a siege match. You know, like when you play siege, when they have those spawns, it's like, okay, we need to win like 2 or 3 of these rounds, and then when it rotates, we'll have the good spawn and we'll get it out. So we need to steal a couple rounds. If we're losing some, it's fine. So that's how I was looking at it.
That's fair.
And that's how I kind of played it and equated it to strategies and stuff that I've done in the past. Where if you know that they're going to cap the point, they get it quick. All right, we're all going to push left. We're going to flank it. I'm going to throw smoke on the right. They're going to think we're coming that way. Get behind them and move on the point. You do have, with a small amount of maps, you do have a fair amount of time to capture the point. And I kind of like the thought they put into it where it's not just numbers based. If you have 3 enemies and you're the only one on the point, it's stalled.
Yes.
So it's not like they can overtake it with people, because there would be like no way to clutch anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have a fair amount of time to do that. But I think we get you in with the team, and we start making some cool lines of sight, some rotates, because a lot of those spawns, people get that you're talking about, that are a lot closer to the objective. A lot of those teams get caught up into just sprinting to it because they can get there first.
Right.
Then you start to open up some more direct routes to get there, and you can really catch people if you start making some holes in some buildings.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm starting to learn and get into and employ, and it's making it pretty fun. I will say though, if I am going to give some cons of it, some of the battlefield cheese is pretty annoying when you're trying to take a mode like that seriously, like the RPGs or the assault shotties in those close buildings, and you just get one shot, and it's like, dang it, man. Like some people use some crappy explosive cheese in it.
Right.
We even did a little bit of it with we put C4 on the recon drone.
Oh yeah.
And got some kills with that to make some people mad. And there were some things said in the game chat.
Some slurs?
Some words were exchanged.
Some gamer words.
I will say.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Strike Point's pretty fun, and you just got to get better at it.
I think for me, I gotta get my team on there, because like we've been playing multiplayer, and then we jump into to Red Sec, and we have to do Gauntlet just for the challenges. Because that mode is also dog shit. But I wanna try to get them to jump into some One Life game modes with me and see if we can't actually put a semblance of a team together and do something.
Yeah, I think you can, and I think it really is kind of its own thing though. When you try to play it like Gunfight, or you try to play it like S&D, it's not quite there.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I would think it would be better with the bigger maps and 2 MCOMs. Make it like there's 2 bombs to plant and defuse. I think would change it up, because I will concede that with the 1 point in the middle, a lot of the rounds play out pretty similar. You're around one spot in a small map.
Yep.
Some of the maps are a little bit bigger to move around, but for overall, we're kind of the opposite. When I go on to do some streaming and play some games, we'll start out with Red Sec, and then we'll get like a 29th and 18th and a 15th. It's like, okay, let's go play some Strike Point, and then and then we'll settle in there for the evening. And it's just a lot of fun. But the more we're doing this show, our opinions differ a little bit.
And you know what's interesting though is like we still both enjoy the game as a whole. And I think that's really cool. There's enough experiences in there that it's kind of like they are appealing to a large audience of different consumers, which is cool.
That's what I've always wanted for Battlefield. Even back when I was calling for a BR in 2042, before I knew how bad that bare bones of that game was.
Right.
Which is like, it's cool if you can play these different experiences but still live within the same game. Your keybinds are the same, you're progressing the same characters, or not characters necessarily, but you're progressing to unlock things within the same game that you can use in the other modes. And you can, if you want to chill out and just vibe and chat, you can run around on Conquest where nothing really matters, or you can kind of sweat it out a little more on Breakthrough, or if you want some small tactical stuff with good comms. Because I feel like when you're kind of playing conquest and stuff, sometimes you can just kind of space out, even if you're gaming with friends and
Oh,
just
for
doing what you're
sure.
focused on. But if you want to kind of bring it together and work together, you can play Strike Point, and then when that gets old and boring, you can pop over and play the BR, and everything feels the
Yeah.
same, and you're in the same ecosystem. So to look at where we are now with Battlefield, I think you have to look at the whole package and
Yeah.
be like, it's cool that just like you said, we can both have fun with the game
Yeah.
and have different opinions on what's fun. It's cool. It's all
Absolutely.
there.
The one thing I do think they need to change, though, and I do share this sentiment with a lot of people, is the challenges being locked behind certain game modes like Gauntlet and Battle Royale. I think even though it is the same ecosystem, I would like to see a set of challenges specifically for Battle Royale every week. I fucking hate Gauntlet. I think that is one of the worst paced fucking modes that I've seen in
I
Battlefield.
never tried it.
It is, dude, it is so chaotic. And look, I'm an old head. I'm unk status, is what the kids are saying now. Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, all right.
Old fart.
Yeah. But so what it is it's just a series of missions, right? You might have to like decrypt radios, or it's basically the missions that you get in the battle royale, but there's like 8 teams fighting over doing the same missions, and then it cuts the last 2 people. So if you don't earn enough points,
Okay.
you're out. So it's a cool like mode premise. It's just way too chaotic. The map sizing that they chose is way too small. I'm just not a fan of it. But in order to do my weeklies, I have to play it. And I think that is kind of lame when, especially for a lot of people, they don't want to play battle royale. They bought Battlefield. They wanted a good core multiplayer experience. Just let them earn, vehicle repairs or this, and then they can choose the modes that they do the challenges in. I think is how it should be.
Yeah, you should be able to re-roll that if you
I
don't want
think
to play that or
I
something.
think you can re-roll. I think you have is it a max of 5 a week? You can choose to re-roll challenges.
Yeah, but right, but I mean, you should be able to say like change it to multiplayer challenges or something, or
I
toggle
agree.
or
Yeah, I
something
totally
like
agree.
that.
Like, especially like I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but I I would assume that eventually we're going to see strike point only challenges. Have you seen any of those yet?
Mm-mm,
I would assume
I
that
haven't.
eventually we're going to get something related to strike point. And if you're not a fan of that game mode, I just feel like you shouldn't really have to play that one. But
Yeah, if you're gonna do weekly challenges, I think you as a studio, you got to put some thought into that to
yeah.
where it's just not gonna put people out to get them done.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And that's where I'm at. Every time I see fucking Gauntlet, it's like, well, let me just play 5 games and just like I don't even care. Just throw them.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's terrible. And maybe I shouldn't care as much about challenges, but I mean, really, what else is there
that's the
to
path I take.
well, true, but what I mean for me, I'm carrot on stick. What are we doing this week? I want to jump in. Let's figure out. Let me level up this weapon. Let me do this. I need goals to at least. I don't know. I'm just not a mindless like. I just don't want to fucking just play to play. I want to at least try to like work towards something. I guess like
I get that.
with you, I think you guys work towards like the win rate.
Winning.
Winning.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
yeah.
So I started doing that. Yeah. So that's why I kind of liked ABI and stuff, because you can play the game to rank up and win and stuff like that. So I actually had Battlefield Tracker open on my second monitor, and I was refreshing my win rate as we were getting wins the other night, because that's what I want, to get that number up for some stupid reason.
It's all dumb video game stuff at the end of the day, but might as well work
That's why
towards something.
maybe one evening I'll tell my wife, like, hey, I got a 90% win rate and strike point. What do you think of that?
As you're lighting the candle and throwing on the vinyl.
Yeah. It's gonna transfer to real life one day.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
100%.
Um,
Go ahead, because I want to get
I was gonna move on to one of my cons.
Yeah.
If that would be okay.
Yeah, I'm itching for this one.
Dude, the RedSec audio is god awful in my opinion, man.
Terrible.
I've seen, and I think I clipped some of these to where I had a teammate do a call out. They're like, we got an enemy team right over the hill from us. They gave a heading like 160.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. So I peek over the hill, and a Jeep silently hits me in the face.
Yeah.
I heard the audio of my head bouncing off the hood.
Yeah.
The thunk. But that Jeep had no engine noise.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were in a Jeep. I've had tanks roll up on me with nothing.
Yep.
I was hitting a revive on one of my teammates, and I didn't have a defib, so I was doing holding the EpiPen or whatever.
Yeah.
Up here getting ready to revive him, and some dude ran in, jumped through a window, broke glass, and killed me. And I never heard anything other than like his gun going off. So They have severe audio issues
Yep.
in RedSec, in my opinion. I went through all my settings. I have sound effects turned all the way up. I have my audio kind of where it almost hurts my ears. Like I have it
Yeah.
cranked up, trying to hear stuff. And I just really think that in the grand mix of how the tracks are played, like footstep audio gets cut out of the mix like all the
Yep.
time. And it's really annoying in a game like that.
Yep. No, there was the very first game I played, I was streaming too. We were at one of the like the revive towers, and it was all you hear is like ooh, 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 and then all I heard was boof, and I blew up out of nowhere. There's a tank maybe 15, 20 feet beside me that I just didn't see. Didn't he rolled up, didn't hear a goddamn thing except for the explosion on me. Yeah, the audio is horrible. I also see that you have written down here like hit reg and bloom issues. The hit reg, I mean, Bloom, that's a Battlefield fucking staple, but it is a severe problem in Battlefield 6, I think. But the hit reg in RedSec is sometimes just, it's insane. You're watching bullets like from snipers, you see the trail, you see that it goes through them, and they're just not hitting.
Sometimes you'll see blood too, and you won't get a hit marker.
It's
Like,
crazy.
yeah. The hit reg is tough. There's been a drone glitch too, where people are hitting drones with sledgehammers and able to vault up on buildings you're not supposed to get
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And they've just been, that was my other con, was like they've been really slow to fix that stuff.
Yes.
Like, and I guess David Serland, one of the lead developers, has they've been on holiday, which I think they definitely need after putting something like this out. I bet the crunch for this game was
For
wild.
sure.
But it's just been it's been a little rough waiting on some of these bugs to get fixed. And they said that a lot of them are back from vacation and they're working on it. So hopefully we'll see some progress on these issues pretty soon. I'm sure they definitely deserve some time off after getting this thing shipped. I can't imagine what they went through, but
For sure.
I'm hoping to see some stuff. They even had a bug where like I can't remember the name of the launcher, but the one that locks on helicopters and stuff,
Yeah.
it actually was not responding to flares, so people were just tapping helicopters no matter what. Like
I just saw an article. Didn't they just remove that from the game like yesterday?
I yeah, I think they started just disabling stuff in
Yeah.
the game. You have to forgive me because I've been so much into Strike Point. You have to forgive me on not knowing the particulars of the vehicle combat, but I
Right.
know they've been like disabling stuff to fix it. I know the bloom is not working as intended. Like you said, bloom's always been in battlefields, but I know that there's some that's like
Oh yeah.
really ridiculously crazy that they're working on. And I've just been a little bit frustrated with the pacing of fixing that stuff, but I know they'll get there, and I know that it's going to get better, but
Yeah.
still kind of waiting. I think they could have been a little more proactive in like disabling things. I
I
can't
can agree.
imagine. I can't imagine it takes a ton of work with a studio that big to turn something off in the game.
Nope.
So like
I'd
maybe
assume they built it out with the tools to be able to do that on a whim the way that they did, right? You just disable the launcher from people's loadouts. Yeah.
I
There's
don't know. You got it is DICE, and in Battlefield 5 they didn't have the tech to turn on double XP. So they didn't have the tech, man.
Yeah, and that's one of those things like, I don't know, as somebody who like even on a very small scale, like we've gone through, we built out our own tools and we're working on stuff. I can't imagine like building a game to that scale and not being able to have those tools for if something like this happens. I also understand like you're on vacation. Totally get it. I can't fucking wait to go on vacation after we launch our game. That being said, we're not Battlefield 6. And like, while I can have, empathy and totally get you need to have a break after a launch, it's the biggest multiplayer launch of the year for most people. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's not an excuse. You
Yeah,
should
I
have
don't
people
want
on
to.
deck to be able to fix these issues as they prop up
That's it.
right after launch. Because now, I mean, we talked about at the beginning, dude, the numbers are dropping. And so we know gamers are fickle. Will season 2 be able to uptick that, once this, because I think they're dropping, what was it, 200,000, 250,000 right now? Great numbers still, but you're losing your audience here a little bit.
Yeah. I don't want to be a hard ass, but exactly like you said, it's like that's a huge studio,
Yep,
and like they have to have next man up. Like if somebody's on
for sure.
vacation, they should have somebody covering there that can at the very least
Yep,
disable the sledgehammer or the drone
for
for like
sure.
a couple weeks until the homies get back and fix it and get it going again. So
Right.
I think some of the response could have been a little better there.
I agree.
But hopefully they'll get her going. But overall, I think this season is pretty big success, and we'll just have to see how it goes. And it's pretty cool that by next time we record this show, we'll have another new map to talk about already.
Yeah. What's it called? Californication? What's it called?
Yeah, sure.
We'll call it that. Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's a California map. It looks kind of like just the concept art looks kind of like a little bit of the BR map. So that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's got that, like, I'm pretty sure it has a golf course and stuff in it, does it
It
not?
looked like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How mad are you going to be if it's just a chunk of the BR map?
I mean, honestly, I actually really like landing in that area. I guess I wouldn't be too upset, but it will feel a little cheap for a lot of people. I think,
It'd be a little like a cop out, but
for sure.
I've heard people, I will leave one last question. I've heard a ton of people coming in my chat saying that there needs to be a massive conquest game on the BR map.
I agree.
Really?
I agree. Maybe not the entire BR map, but I do think that there are areas of that map that would be incredible conquest experiences. So I would love to see.
I wonder if they'll do that.
I mean, honestly, man, if it was me, if I was them, pull the community and say, hey, if you guys should we separate some of these maps out and give you like a conquest playlist of like areas around the BR just to give you some, not extra content, but a different flowing game mode on this map, and in between seasons or whatever. I think that'd be cool. I don't see why that would be a bad thing. I know people would think of it as a cop out, but it's extra shit to do.
Yeah, if it's extra stuff, I'm in. Yeah. That'd be cool to see.
For sure.
All right, man. Patch note time?
I think so.
All right, guys, it's time for the patch notes. This is the part of the show where we kind of break down news stories and talk about what's going on with some of our favorite games. The first one, I say our favorite games, but it's really Big Fry's favorite game. It's the ARC Raiders launch. They popped out the roadmap and the reveal and everything that's coming within the first little part of post-launch content for ARC Raiders. What do they got going, Fry?
Okay, so we're recording this when November 10th, which means pretty much any day now. We're probably going to be hearing more, most likely this week, about ARC Raiders and their Northline November update. So ongoing right now, we have obviously like new feats and trials, new cosmetics are rotating into the store, quality of life updates. They already dropped a huge update. They're fixing the barricade exploits to get into the secret areas. They're banning people who are exploiting. They're on top of it. In a stark contrast to what we just said about Battlefield, I actually think Embark is already dropping huge updates, fixing a bunch of quality of life things. But what we have coming up here soon is Stella Montis, which is the snow map set in the European Alps. We also have 2 new art coming to the game, which we haven't heard anything about yet. But there's a lot of theory crafting from the community about what they are. We have the Matriarch and the Shredder. And I know you didn't play much, but on Blue Gate, which is the last map you unlock, off in the distance, you see, do you know anything about the Queen in the game?
I just know it's like a giant spider, and if you see her, like, you got to get out of there.
So the Queen is a giant spider that hovers around what they call a harvester, and it's like a huge event. You go kill the Queen, you get a bunch of loot. There in Blue Gate, off in the distance, you can't interact with it, but you see it crawling around, is an ARC that is probably 10 to 20 times the sizes of the Queen.
Whoa.
And so what I think is this Matriarch is that. And we're kind of seeing little glimpses of it off in the distance. It is towards the mountainside too, which is where Stella Montis is set. If it is, holy shit, that's going to be insane.
Dude, this stuff's all so cool, man.
Yeah, I wish you liked it more, because I'm so excited to talk about it.
I gotta try it again. I gotta try it again, because also just like little things like the snow in this game is gonna look insane.
Oh yeah,
like the way they do Unreal Engine 5 is gonna look so cool.
Yeah, we got a little glimpse of it on their launch trailer. Just some shots of the map, and it looks beautiful. And then jumping into that, we have a cold snap update in December, which is pretty much the same thing that Battlefield is doing. They're bringing a snowfall map condition. So I think they're introducing Stella Montis and then bringing the snow condition to the other maps as well. So we'll be able to run, Dam or Spaceport with a snow condition, which is cool. They're also bringing new a community unlock event, which we have no information on yet. New quests, a Flickering Flames event happening in December. And then at the end of December, we're going to have our first expedition departure window. So this is the first chance for people to actually reset their characters and do the optional wipe and unlock all the rewards for doing that. I have a couple of friends in the community who are already ready to go for that, which is crazy.
Dang.
They've been grinding their asses off 100 plus hours. Yeah, it's pretty cool what we got coming down the pipe already. And
That's awesome.
you know, even in comparison to Battlefield, I think both these studios are doing pretty good at the post launch, like shortly after launch updates.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the ARC Raiders roadmap. I wish Crash played it more and liked it.
I'm going to. I even have one of my IRL friends that I work with and game with forever, for years. He got it while he was in the government shutdown as well and put a bunch of time into it. And he's gonna be talking about it and stuff. So
for sure.
I'm gonna have to get in there.
Yeah.
Give it a go again.
It's super fun.
You actually did open my eyes a little bit to some of my third person issues in the last episode, talking about just having to play it differently and stuff like that. So I kind of I have that challenge itching at me, like, can I be better at third person and like learn how to play that? So it's gonna get me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in there.
For sure. Well, if you ever do pick it up, let's get a game in, and I'll take you topside and show you what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little Timmy. I'm gonna need help.
That's all right.
My little sewage pipe gun or whatever, slinging marshmallows or whatever the heck I'll have.
You're close enough.
Gonna be right in there.
Do you want to take the next patch note here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Let's talk about Gray Zone. So some would say finally got another patch out. They've been a little head down working on stuff. I think I feel like they kind of started talking about the update 0.3 a little bit early, where they started saying what's going to happen, and the buildup was a little long. So I feel like they're kind of waiting until they get closer to 0.4, which is kind of the lore update, before they start really getting into it, with what's going to be in the next one. But they kind of did an intermediate patch, and some of the big takeaways from this patch on Gray Zone are a lot of optimization things. They upgraded DLSS, they upgraded to new Unreal Engine 5.5. They really changed a lot when it comes to how recoil is. There's a lot more recoil, and they really changed up the AI quite a bit. They did another pass on them to kind of take down their laser beam headshots, which is pretty cool, because that's something that's been plaguing the game, in my opinion, since the beginning. They added a lot more human-like, what do I want to say, behaviors to the AI, to where certain things kind of make them lose sight of you, lose targets. They switch targets. They can get suppressed and scared and run away and move. And I think there's going to be more of a discrepancy in skill between the ones you meet in like the starter town versus something like Tiger Bay or Midnight Sapphire, some of those crazy military outposts. There's going to be a little bit bigger of a disparity. They're going to feel more like they should, I think. I'm interested to see. I haven't got to spend time with it yet. I'm interested to see how the recoil is. I'm hoping that, some of the videos they showed some pretty crazy recoil, but I'm hoping this makes attachments more usable and more important. And it gives them some more levers to pull when it comes to balance, because I've been a little bit tired of everybody uses the M4 all the time. So it'd be cool to change some of that stuff up. But as far as what it means to the community, man, I don't know. I was a little bit I'm rooting for this game. I was a little bit disheartened with my comments on my YouTube video talking about people just giving up on the time of it not taken. It's been taken too long in their opinions. But if you look at it for what it is and what they were, I mean, this is their first PC game, and some of the tech that they have in this game is so sick. And they're just taking on such an ambitious title and an ambitious project, and it's getting there. But I just feel like they're losing some people, unfortunately. I'm kind of here like, I have the game, so I'm not. I'll come back to it whenever I want, like whenever they add stuff to it. And there's other stuff to play right now that's a lot of fun. So I'm not finding any fault with Madfinger Games. They're still working on it. They haven't given up on it or anything like that. And I'm just still kind of excited to see where it goes. But I'm also an old man, so I've kind of learned patience later in my life. So I'm cool with it. But I get, they're kind of losing some people with the timing of these patches.
No, for sure. And I think a lot of gamers just want to be in the games that are popping right now, and they want to feel like they're a part of a community. And when you look at the player numbers for Gray Zone, they're sub 1,000. They're definitely struggling to keep that momentum that they had going into the launch, right? But in terms of like actual like development, it's been slow. And I do think that watching them put out the roadmap and then shift priorities around, like for point oh 0.04 or 0.4 for me being a lore update, I couldn't care less. Sure, cool. Get it out of the way, rip the Band-Aid off, get over it, and then let's get back to actually focusing on what matters in the game, which in my opinion is an update like this. Do I think, now granted, I haven't played this update either, but do I think this is going to be something that like is like, you guys need to come back and play this right now? No, not at all. But it's something that needs to be done. And like you, I bought the game. I bought Supporter Edition. I'll come back and play it when it feels like it needs to be played again. I think this is also one of those games where everybody is tired of it. Oh, it's taking forever. It's taking too long. But then, when it does 1.0, people are going to come back and at least try it. And if it's a fucking great game, then it'll hold a player base for however long, So
yeah,
I guess at the very least, they do have a community that's tapped in, but also I think that community understands that it's a waiting game,
Yeah.
So
I think if you're one of the players that's still, like you said, tapped in and still around, you understand what you signed up for at this point.
Yep.
That it's a studio that's taken on something pretty wild, and this is one of their first times doing it. And honestly, if you look at that and how they haven't had that many years on this game to see where they're at now is actually pretty impressive.
It is. In
my opinion.
I don't play the game, but I do think that what they've done is fucking phenomenal. And I think they get a lot of I would say undeserved hate, and they're underrated in the space,
I think so too, but it's going to be interesting to see how some of these other events play out, and I'm kind of interested to see where they take the vision for it, because I kind of think I and maybe a lot of other people had kind of the wrong idea of what this game was. I think when it came out, and there was all that Unheard Edition drama with Tarkov and stuff, that they wanted this to be their extraction shooter replacement. Even Madfinger Games at one point was calling it an extraction shooter. And I think they totally need to get away from that, because it's not at all. You don't really extract from the map. You stay on it, you keep working, especially with the cop system. And I think they have an opportunity to really add some stuff to the game with the lore, with the crafting, with the skill sets, to kind of take this more down the multiplayer RPG route.
Yeah.
And I think this has been my latest, shower thoughts with Crash, is like for Gray Zone, is if they go down this more open world kind of RPG style with adding some of the lore stuff, I think crafting will be really cool. Just more stuff happening on the map and more identity to your character. I think that will be better, that they can kind of further themselves away from the extraction part of it, because if you try to play it like an extraction shooter, it doesn't work like that. And you run out of stuff to do pretty quickly. So yeah, it's just one of those that it's taking time, but I'm gonna just keep an eye on it, see what happens with it.
Yep, and that's exactly it. I think it's healthy to just like always just peer over the fence and see where it's at.
Definitely.
Sure. Cool. All right, my man. I think with that, let's jump into the patron party chat. Guys, this is the part of the show where my patrons can ask questions, leave comments, and we can address them live on the show. So we got a couple of questions here from patrons. First one being Flow Beatbox. He says, during the first episode, you guys briefly mentioned your tension disagreement or / disagreement on third-person shooters, with Crash citing that even the good ones, ARC Raiders, he could not get into it because of his dislike of the pacing change from informational advantage that this perspective gives. In your mind, Fry, how can third-person shooters offer this different perspective without encouraging the slow-peaking caution loop of modern cover-based shooters? So,
was it brief?
What's that?
Was it? What were we? Was our tension brief? I thought our tension over the game was a little longer than brief.
I mean, I would say that it still exists, if I'm being honest with you.
Some would say that.
Yeah. So okay. So you have. Let's break it down here. You can't get into it because of your dislike of the pacing change from informational advantage. Do you think that that's a fair sentiment? And let's get on the same page there at least.
I think there's probably, if I'm being honest, I think I was making some skill, like I had some issues.
Yeah.
With I was probably trying to play it like a first person shooter. And you actually did kind of open my eyes a little bit to some of my errors in the last episode. And I haven't really tried to play it and play it differently like that. I let myself get really frustrated when someone has information on me that I don't have on them. Because if you think about like peeking a corner when you're in first person, then they have to peek you. I can, in spite of netcode issues, like
Right.
notwithstanding netcode stuff,
Yeah.
if you're gonna shoot at me, I can see you
Yeah.
generally. Like I can see you, so you're at risk,
Yeah.
other than people, if you can see me, I can see you generally, and you can shoot each other, but thinking about how third person works where somebody could be sniffing a wall and see you and you don't see them, that in my head makes me mad.
Right.
And I just wasn't giving it a chance to play around that.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I think it becomes, a lot of people say it gets campy and ratty. I like that patient gameplay, right? I'm an unk status. I'm an old head, so I don't mind like sitting there and like, okay, I know you're there. What I like, the big thing, and I always say this with third person shooters is it's all about your map design. If you're playing a game where it's one hallway and it's third person and there's cover, there's nowhere to move. So if I'm watching and I'm okay, this guy could fuck off this way, he could back off, he could do this, he could go this way. Now you got to watch all these angles and you got to try to get into their mind about where the best like course for them to go is, right? So I think to the second point here, how can third person shooters offer that perspective without encouraging slow peeking? It all comes down to the map design, right? I played SOCOM back in the day. That was my first like foray into third person shooters. There was a lot of flank routes in a lot of those maps where you're not just looking down a hallway. That guy could back up, go a different way, could come around this way. He could get high up here, can snipe down, you can throw grenades. It's all, I don't know. I think it really just comes down to map design and then just as a player, your positioning and your knowledge of where your threat is. I like sitting around a corner and knowing that, like in the clip that we showed in the last show, if I was you in that position, I would wait. I'd jump on the mic. I would talk shit, and I would say, "Okay, which one of us is leaving here today? I don't know if you had grenades on you or whatever. Back up, try to bomb a grenade off of a corner to bounce. You know what I mean? Like that. That's where I thrive. I love that shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I was thinking I played it like a first person shooter.
yeah,
I'm swinging it.
yeah,
And I'm putting my crosshair right where your head is. And
yeah,
as soon as you peek me, you're going to the lobby.
yeah,
Like that's like how I
yeah,
played it. And that's just not how it works in
yeah,
third person. So I just don't have I don't man, I don't have any time in third person shooters really. I
yeah.
played a little bit of PUBG third person, but just not enough to
Right.
feel it.
Yeah, and so I think what it comes down to when it comes to third person is a lot of people just don't like that rat gameplay. They just want to get into it. They want to play and they just want to kill motherfuckers, and that's fine. That's cool. I think that it's just maybe not like it's not a thinking man's game, but I think it's just a different way to analyze the situation that you're in.
Yeah. That kind of makes me see it as a challenge and I kind of want to try it again
Well,
and
like I
think
said,
about it different.
if you do, you're always welcome to join up with us and play because
We'll have to do it.
it's pretty much all we've been playing. Next question from Baba Ganoush: how did you and Crash meet / start to collab? Let's take the first part of that and then we'll go into the second one. How did
I could
we meet?
I could probably explain that the best.
Sure.
Like many folks in the first person shooter space, I'd watched Fry's content for a long time. And when I started my podcast, I was looking to bring guests on, and I just reached out to Fry in a DM and said, "Hey man, would you be willing to come onto the scope and talk about FPS games?" I have had some awesome guests on the scope, and Bryce said, "Yeah, man, he would do it." And yeah, I've always appreciated that so much. I felt like I've always felt bad asking guests to come on because it's like asking your buddy who's a contractor to come help you paint your house. It's
Yeah,
like you talk about
I
I'm
get
like
that.
you talk FPS stuff for your job online all the time, and I'm asking you to come over to my show and do it for free. So I felt bad, but I generally was always looking for guests to make good content with,
Yeah.
and I just thought our conversation would be interesting, so I shot my shot.
Yeah, and it was honestly like for me, I get asked to do shows, I get asked to do stuff, not all the time, but when I do, the first thing I do is I go and look at the content. Are you uploading videos? Are you grinding? Are you putting the work in? And I always every time you come up in a conversation when I'm talking to somebody else and we're talking content, I have nothing but the highest praise for you. I always say you upload consistent as fuck. I remember when we chatted before, you were coming home on your lunch breaks, editing and doing. That's how I started. So I look at your channel and I go, yeah, the dude has a work ethic exactly like I did. And so I see the grind. So yeah, of course. When I was thinking about this show and who I wanted to do it with, honestly, guys, there's not a lot of people that I like. It's a very small list, and Crash is on that list, and Crash is number 1 on that list. It just
wild.
is what it is. And
I appreciate it.
I'll be honest, I'm not sucking your dick or anything, but the work ethic, and then also I think even though you don't play ARC Raiders, I think we have a pretty like coherent list of games that we're both in the same spheres in, right?
Yeah.
We like extraction, we like military. It's just, to me, it meshes. And also, you're a little bit of an older guy. You're not some fucking dweeb on the internet. You didn't come from the internet space, right? And you know, I was an electrician before, blue collar. So I don't know. I just think our work ethic, and I think our mindsets are just different in the space. So it was
cool.
It was an easy collab for me.
Man, it's just, not to get weird and sappy, but it was an honor that you asked me, and I've been pretty excited to work on this project, and yeah, that's it. I was just honored that you asked me.
Dude.
I think it's pretty cool because I was like longtime fan of yours, so it's cool.
Fuck yeah,
it's cool to be here. It's a little bit surreal.
Yeah, I mean, the tech issues aside, I think honestly it's been going pretty smooth sailing. It's been nice. A second part of that was, would you ever consider adding co-hosts to the podcast? How do you feel about that?
Man, I'm to the point where I just want to make the show better.
Yep.
And that's all I want to do is make the best content that I can. And if that is adding another co-host, let's do it. If that's not, then let's not. And I'm always up for whatever discussion to make it better. That's what I care about.
Yeah, 100%. Again, and it would be the same conversation that I had with myself, but now just with Crash. It's like, whoever we're bringing in, what are they doing for themselves? Are they uploading? Are they streaming? Are they doing these things that show me that they're going to show up here every 2 weeks, right? You know, I felt bad. Crash messaged me this morning. He's like, hey, we're recording today. Brother, I've been locked in for the last week. I didn't even fucking know what day it was today. But we're here. We're doing it. So that's all I want. Like you said, you just want the product to be better. And if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah, that is important too. When you have when you're talking about bringing on teammates as somebody that's going to put the same amount of effort that you are in there.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with shows like this, it takes a lot of effort to plan it out and to have it ready to rock and on your end editing and stuff. And it's a team effort.
For sure. Absolutely. All right, guys, if you're a Patreon member, or if you're not, go over to patreon.com/BigFry, join up, become a paid member over there. And every 2 weeks, we address your guys' questions, your comments, anything you guys want us to talk about. We'll do it during this segment of the show. So links are all down below. If you're listening on Spotify, you should have access to the links somewhere, Apple, wherever. I don't really listen to podcasts anywhere else but Spotify, but patreon.com/BigFry. And you can empower this podcast even further. Appreciate it. Crash, I think it's time for the sleeper hits, my man. Guys, this portion of the podcast is the sleeper hits, where we cover bite-sized gaming news that maybe you guys haven't heard about, or maybe you're loosely following along. The first one we have here today is an update from Krafton, publisher of PUBG, or like owner of PUBG. Crash, I'm going to let you take this one because you're the resident black budget guy.
Yeah, I've been following along with it for a long time. I've always followed PUBG. It's kind of a game I wish I was good at, but I'm not. So I just follow the news. Player IGN, who is a kind of a long time, pretty reputable source, has put out some tweets about some stuff that we could be seeing. I mentioned black budget we might be hearing more about, but there's some more information in this. I think he's citing some stuff from their earnings call, from Krafton's earnings call, is where this information is coming from, kind of some timelines on what they're working on over there. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about is what's coming in the PUBG world and the IP franchise. And it's kind of crazy what could be coming up. And I'm also interested to see from like a one-time, giant FPS genre, or what do I want to say, franchise or IP.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what it's like jumping back into this crowded space and how they're going to fare with some of this stuff. But what they're talking about is they're continuing R&D for PUBG 2.0, where they're going to mainly move the main game over to Unreal Engine 5. They also are going to bring in some new modes, and it's going to have user generated content too.
Yep.
So think like Portal or Halo Forge or something like that, which is going to be really cool to see. Um, and in it, when they talked about it in their earnings call, they said there's some positive user feedback from the UGC alpha. And again, that's user generated content that was during the third quarter of 2025. So, excuse me, I think that gives us a kind of some insight to where they're at in this development process for
Yep.
PUBG 2.0, that the user generated content portion of it, the sandbox part, has already been in alpha since the third quarter of this year. So it's coming along, and I'm hoping to hear some stuff about it soon. And then they have new titles that are coming. Project Black Budget. There's 3 titles in this IP. PUBG Blind Spot. Did you know about this?
Okay, so this is the top down Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
No, I didn't.
I've played it.
Really? Yeah, I saw it was on Steam already. I like this slide was like the first time I'd heard of it.
Is it? It's not out yet, is it?
No, it says it's to be announced, but it's got a Steam page up with some screenshots and stuff on it.
So
I was surprised to see that.
Earlier this year, they did like a play test for it. It's really cool. Like it's top down R6, and it slaps. Yeah, it's fun.
It looks really interesting. I'm sure, given my love for third person, I'd be all about it.
All right.
Then the other project that they're working on is a one that's titled Project Valor. And from the research I did on that, it sounds like it's kind of a console centric BR.
Okay.
So it's going to have aim assist. It's going to have mechanics that are better set up for console gameplay. It almost sounds like they're kind of splitting off PC versus consoles, just what it feels like. And they're going to have a new IP on console, and then PUBG 2.0 is going to be PC stuff. So it's just kind of how it feels. But when I looked at it and looked it up, what it meant is all the rumors and stuff point to Valor being like a made for PC, or excuse me, made for console BR with aim assist and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff. It's we've heard about Black Budget like whisperings and stuff for quite a while, and I'm just really ready to see some of these other shooters.
There's 2 things I want to address here, especially if you're looking at the timelines for this R&D for PUBG. It says that there's a payday mode coming, co-developed with Starbreeze, to be released during the first half of 26. So that tells me that chances are they're already on Unreal Engine 5. They're probably working through the bugs, working through any like depreciated, blueprints or whatever. So my guess is we're going to see the Unreal Engine 5 update for PUBG within the next like 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, if they're going to do a payday mode and they're saying it released the first half of 26, like the game has to be out by then, right? So
yeah, I would say so. So that's interesting to me. PUBG Ally releasing first half of 2026, which is strategic co-op gameplay. I don't know if you saw that in the slide about AI, which I also want to talk about. Specialized for PUBG related conversations. I don't know what this is. It sounds like it's an AI like teammate.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think too. It's like a really refined bot that you can play with. And this was a thing with Arena Breakout, and I don't know whatever happened to it. Before Arena Breakout launched, they had, I can't remember what the project name of it was, but they also did some gameplay, and they did a demonstration with bot teammates that you could talk to. You could say, go over to that tree, ping it, and cover me. And they'd be like, yes, sir. And they would do it, and you could just talk to them.
I remember
and they would react to you. So it sounds like they're working on that for PUBG, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know whatever happened to the ABI doing that, because they were putting descriptions of it out, or demonstrations. I mean,
yeah, we should look into that and see whatever happened with it. I don't know how I feel about them transitioning to an AI first company, if I can be honest. I don't know what that's going to mean for their development pipeline and for the people working there. But I don't know. It's scary, especially when you just see what happened with Amazon and their big, Amazon Games layoffs, 14,000 people gone. And then they're talking about transitioning that to AI, and I don't know. We'll see.
Man, yeah, AI looming on the horizon for everything in the gaming space is just
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah.
Like how powerful it is. It almost feels like, for a long time there's been machines replacing humans,
Yep.
and it just seems like it's coming in this space of creative media,
Yep.
and it's going to be like an industrial revolution, but
It is.
like content and games. And I worry a lot for artists.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's going to play out, because it's tough. It's one of those issues where I see both sides of it. It's like
Yep.
a studio can use it. Their job is to make money from games. They can do a lot more, a lot cheaper with AI, but then you're somebody's losing their job. So I don't know, man. I'm Overall, it's kind of a bummer, because there's a lot of good people that could lose their gigs.
Yeah, but at this point, it's inevitable,
Yeah.
And so I guess, looking on the horizon, try to position yourself in a way where you can't be replaced, or it would be very tough to be replaced, and that's all you can really do.
Yeah, you
S-
gotta make make changes now, and
Yeah.
maybe even incorporate AI into your workflows to, use it
I
to help
mean,
yourself, I
at,
guess. I don't
at
know.
this point, if you're not, you're already behind. You
Yeah.
should be looking into that already, which sucks. It just, but you have to compete. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see
Yep.
what happens next year. PUBG 2.0, Unreal Engine 5, most likely 5.5 or 5.6 at that point. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
The next one that I was gonna kick it over to Fry on
Sure.
was Tarkov is launching to Steam, and
Yeah.
our boy Nikita is
Yeah.
expecting review bombs. What do you think of that? Big
So
surprise.
this is from a Game Rant article. This came out a day ago. Yeah, so I didn't realize, like, I knew Escape from Tarkov was coming to Steam. I just didn't realize it was happening at the same time as 1.0. So this week, we're recording this on November 10th. On the 15th, it's going to be launching on Steam. And Nikita is already, commenting on the possibility of review bombing here. I'm just going to pull up his quote. We don't have a specific strategy for review bombing. We just want to release the game for people to put an exclamation point on the history of Tarkov and finally give players end game content. You see a huge number of people have been playing Tarkov for a very long time. And among this huge number, there's a small percentage of people who hate us. Will they go and do review bombing? Well, let them go ahead and do it. Steam has its own protocols for dealing with this. There are people who want to bomb us. Let them bomb us, and we'll see what comes of it. And I'll be honest, like, as much as I'm not a fan of Nikita, as much as I don't like BSG, that's the best answer he could have given. Fuck
He's a
you.
wordsmith, isn't he?
Yeah, fuck, do it. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're not a big Tarkov guy.
No, I used to be, and I got into it for a long time, and I just got a little bit disenfranchised with I was starting to lose my love for it, doing the same quest over and over every single wipe. I got a little
Yeah.
bit tired of it. And then when they did the Unheard edition, and you can call me petty or whatever, I just thought that was dishonest, because as somebody who I bought the EOD edition
Yeah.
under the impression, as a lot of other EOD owners, that you were supporting the game for a lot of money, and you were going to have the top edition,
Yeah.
in perpetuity. So that's the most money I've spent on a game.
Yep.
And then they came out with an Unheard edition with better stuff. And they tried to say that the single player part of Tarkov was not DLC. So even
Right.
if you had an EOD, they walked with that back. But I was just like, you just kind of see what their true colors were when they did that. And,
Yep.
I was just kind of out on the franchise at that point. I uninstalled it, and I escaped Tarkov. So
Fair enough.
I,
Well,
I, I haven't really been back.
you found greener pastures with Arena Breakout, though. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That
so
they took the pay to win stuff out of that.
yeah.
And I've been and it's kind of ironic, how they've kind of almost switched places with the stuff, like kind of Tarkov being a little bit pay to win with the arena battle pass, giving you stuff in the main game. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm happy where I'm at. And but Tarkov is I will never not say that Tarkov isn't a one of one game.
I
It's
agree.
so unique. It changed FPS gaming for a long time.
It did.
It brought in a whole new genre of extraction shooters. I'm not necessarily saying they were the first one to do it, but they were definitely the first ones to bring it to the mainstream. And seeing that, it's cool, like kind of back in the day when you had PUBG like taking over Twitch, and that was like a crazy big thing. Everybody playing it when Tarkov did their first round of drops, and that happened, and to see it blow up and kind of become what it was, was a cool time. So I respect the game, but I just don't appreciate how I was kind of treated from a business standpoint and speaking with my wallet and with my playtime.
No, that's fair. So you're not jumping in on the 1.0 release at all then?
No, but I'll definitely keep up with it. I have several Tarkov creators that I don't know why I just like gaming news. But I have several content creators that I'll watch, and I'll stay up with it and see what it's up to.
For sure. So if you guys are watching this, when is this actually going live? So let me actually look it up. Escape from Tarkov, Steam. I believe it was the 15th of November, which is Saturday, which is very, very strange. So if you guys are watching this publicly on Friday, it will be out momentarily. So
check your local time.
I'll be sure to keep an eye. I think that's going to be one of our news points on the next episode. We're going to watch and see, did the review bombing happen? How are people reacting to it? And the most important thing for me, and just because I'm data driven, I want to see what their player numbers are like on Steam.
Yeah. That's going to be really interesting as well. I know there's going to be a large share of people, like if I played it again, I would just stay on the launcher because that's where I own it.
For sure.
So there's going to be that. And I know there was some backlash I thought was kind of weird that you if you want it on Steam, you have to buy it on Steam. I think that's kind of how it's been with a lot of games. Like you have to buy it on whatever platform you want.
Yeah.
That was a weird little bit. I mean, people, as much as I also dislike BSG, people are really hungry to talk shit on them.
Yeah, I think it's because of that track record with their greed. When I first heard that, like as an EOD owner myself, not that I really give a shit. I thought my first instinct was, oh well, I'm not buying the fucking game again on Steam. Fuck that. But because it's technically crossplay, you don't have to, right? So yeah, no, I'm curious to see what's going to happen here, because review bombing is something that my team is thinking about going into our launch as well. So I definitely understand. I wouldn't say the concern, but like it's something that's going to happen with every single game nowadays. Hell, there are people review bombing or trying to review bomb ARC Raiders. You know,
I saw that too.
It's going to happen. You know, it's just inevitable from the internet. So, the last sleeper, the last sleeper hit of the day actually feels pretty on point. Fucking Call of Duty's launching in 4 days.
Yeah.
You wrote that on the show notes like right before we went live, and I was like, oh my God, it's COD's launching this week.
I would like to quote my show notes. I said, COD releases in 4 days, LOL.
Yeah. And my response to it was, oh fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah.
What a time, man. What a time we live in where PUBG, Tarkov, and COD are in the sleeper hits part of the show.
Right. Yeah. No shit.
It's nuts.
Now, granted, we aren't an extraction shooter like Tarkov centric channel. I'm sure if you were watching, you know, Jesse Gazam's podcast, it's gonna be the topic of discussion as a Tarkov launch. But, yeah, I just don't give a shit about COD this year at all. Like there's a time, like every year I'll buy Call of Duty just to try it. Even Black Ops 6, I gave it a shot and enjoyed a little bit of it. I don't give a fuck this year.
No.
Yeah.
And I always look at COD, like you guys have probably guessed, to play search.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of time into search and destroy over the last few CODs. So I really like that style of game. And this year got Strike Point, got the BR, got ABI. ABI even has a one life mode that kicks on during the weekends.
Yep.
So I'm good, man. I don't need the ridiculous aim assist. I don't need the goofy battle pass BS popping up in my face after every match. Just don't I don't need it. And it's gonna be, you want to talk about interesting player numbers.
Yeah.
The COD Steam player numbers are gonna be really funny.
I mean, they're already pretty abysmal at this point. I don't know if you've noticed.
I didn't know what it was at now. I hadn't looked in a while.
I'm going to look up right now because the last time I looked, it was at 21,766. We're talking like indie shooter numbers here.
But Fry, Call of Duty is a console game.
Well, and that's
what they're going to say.
That's what they'll say, and that's fine. They can be wrong. What they'll also say is that it's not true numbers because there's games that are broken out. And remember, they were doing the breaking out of like Black Ops 6 from the COD HQ and stuff. So they're trying to obfuscate the numbers for sure. But Call of Duty a couple months ago came out, I believe it was on Insider Gaming, and said that they were too big to fail. They're not concerned about Battlefield because they're too big to fail. Okay. Yeah.
Like, there's something this is going to be the closest we're going to ever see to COD. It's not going to fail, like, right? They're going to make their money. But I just remember when there was that big Xbox lawsuit with Xbox versus PlayStation about, content and what was going to be where.
Yeah.
There was some ridiculous stat about there was like 80% of console players played COD and like over half of them only played Call of Duty.
Yep.
On their console. Like that's the only game they had on their console. So it's got a massive, massive following, and it probably is too big to outright fail. But let's hope they get a wake-up call, right? Like I'm hoping that it's enough of a chunk that they see that, hey, we gotta step something up, and maybe the next Infinity Ward game will be good.
Yeah.
They've had some of my favorite search and destroys.
For sure.
Last Infinity Ward games.
I agree. I don't think it's too big to fail, but I do think that it isn't big enough to where they can have a financial failure. I think that's the biggest difference. I don't think they're going to make their money back on Black Ops 7. Maybe they will. Maybe I'm crazy. I think there's a lot of people that looked over the fence this year and said, fuck whatever has been going on here. We're playing Battlefield this year.
Right. And I guess it would be important to define what a failure would be. Are you talking like all outright have to close the studio? Or are you saying they missed their projections for their shareholders? And
I think at a company this scale, missing those projections is a failure to them.
Right.
So I think that is exactly what's going to happen this year. And I'll be honest, and I hate being like this because I know it's going to lead to layoffs and the developers get shit on. I hope they miss those projections this year. Because I need them. Yeah. We all want them to wake up.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping this is like a warning shot across the bow that, hey, you're not invincible and you need to innovate and you need to put out content and you need to justify your price point.
Yep.
And hopefully that the next COD is better for it, that they get a little bit of one. Because that's what Battlefield got, right? Like after 2042 missed projections bad, they dropped product, or they talked about it in the next earnings call. The one after the game release, they completely removed it from their active IP slides. Like they just 2042 got yeeted from EA's portfolio. And now we see what happened, right? Like they turned it around. So hoping the same thing happens to COD.
Yep. And it goes to show that, like, at the end of the day, gamers can be the harshest critics ever, but if you give them something good, they'll support you and they'll come back, right? So if next year Infinity Ward, I think next year is supposed to be the Modern Warfare. Right?
I think so.
That's the rumor anyway. If it comes and it's good and okay, we'll give you a chance, but I think this year's going to be a total flop for them. So
it is wild that I didn't even know it was. I mean, I just didn't even think about it launching.
I mean, if I can be real, brother, I didn't even realize we're already 10 days into November. If I can be honest, like, time is a flat circle.
It's not real.
It's not real. Guys, I think with that, it is time to go back to the lobby. All right, man. Well, that was episode 3 of the Push to Talk podcast. We have quite a few things to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. A lot of data I think we're going to be collecting for the next show.
Yeah, I think the next show is going to be a pretty cool one when it comes to reactions from all this stuff. You're gonna have COD drop. You're gonna have Tarkov drop. You're gonna have Steam reviews. You're gonna have the Reddit and the Twitter people, and
new Battlefield map as well.
Yeah, Battlefield map to talk about. By that time, you're gonna warm up and love Strike Point. So there's just
you're gonna warm up and play the new ARC Raiders update.
I'm
the new
gonna be living in Speranza.
Ooh, baby.
What a time to be alive, baby. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be a good one. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoy recording it. This is fun as fuck. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys just leave a like on the video. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. What are you guys playing? Just get tapped in and let us know your guys' thoughts on the show, whatever games you're playing and whatever else. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever, Apple Music, Amazon, if you got a cassette player that this was recorded on, wherever, just give us 5 stars. hook up the show. It's the easiest way to support, and there's a lot of free ways to do so that helps the show kind of reach the masses. So we appreciate you guys being here. Crash, it was nice chatting with you again.
Dude, it was fun. I really appreciate you having me. And just looking forward to the future, playing some games and talking about them on here, man. It's so fun.
Absolutely. Before we go, let the people know where they can follow you and where you're active.
Yeah. I still do make videos over on YouTube. You can click my name in the video on because we're doing the collaboration thing. And then as well as I've really been streaming a lot after the kids go to bed over on twitch.tv/crash8. Crash 1s through 7 were taken. So if you ever see those assholes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crash 8 over there. That's the shortest Crash name I could get. And then FPS_Crash over on X. And that's the main places that I stay active. And if you want to chat even more, my Discord's in the Twitch links and stuff like that. You can hook it up over there. And then also catch us on that YouTube channel. Every Thursday evening is our other FPS podcast with Buffner Gaming and Blue the Robot. We do the scope over there where we break down the week's news as well with those guys. So double podcast, streams, and occasional YouTube video.
Perfect. Awesome. And guys, I'm BigfryTV everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, OnlyFans. All of the links are down in the description below. BigfryTV. Guys, we appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for clicking on the push to talk.
See you guys.